going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I'm joined by Scratch, AK-47. Scratch, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, bro? How you doing? Pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Excited about the new bosses, looking for a new challenge, you know?
Yeah, we got some new Doom Tower bosses, and we were right. We talked about, hypothesizing that bombs are actually going to be a thing now in the game. High resist and bomb meta. Welcome to Raid Shadow Legends. I gotta say, Scratch, overall, I'll show the bosses in the background here. We have Bommal the Dreadhorn and Astranyx the Dark Fae. Two new Doom Tower bosses coming up next rotation. I like how they're adding these new bosses that really, again, give the spotlight to new champions, right? Who have skills that are underutilized, such as Bomb and High Resist again. What do you think of these two new bosses? Today we're going to go over, by the way, 12 champions you guys can either unvault or double down on. Some of these you're obviously already going to be using against both of these bosses. But what do you think overall about these bosses?
Yeah, they look pretty good. Honestly, they usually look always hard, more difficult on paper, right, than they actually are in the game, same like the previous bosses. So I like the idea of these two new bosses that you can actually go with block damage and killable, so you have different ways on going around to kill them. And I love that we're getting a new Savage set, man. Like, that's going to be huge for every single player in this game. We all know how hard it is to actually get the Savage set from farming the Fire Knight, but now being able to actually do it in the Forge, which Forge is one of the best things they've ever brought to this game, right? I think it's going to be awesome, so I'm super hyped about it.
Yeah, dude. You? Yeah, so the lethal set definitely looks to be worth farming here. It's it's from the Dark Fae, I guess that's her name, right? Astranyx. So that looks really good. And then the Fortitude set looks all right as well. What do you think about that one? It has the resistance on top of the defense.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty good for Arena as well. So it's very similar with the one we get from the Scarab King, the Untouchable. You have immunity and resistance at the same time. So they are pretty strong sets. If you're comparing them with the old ones, you know, so definitely worth farming. Now, it's gonna be hard to choose from these two bosses, so I want to farm them both, you know, and I feel like they should come up with new rotations, hopefully, where they mix up the bosses rather than keep the rotations the way they are now, because if no, we're gonna have to wait like 3 months to farm these sets if they're not mixing up the bosses at some point, you know.
That's true.
So
that's true.
They will be mixing them up, you know.
That's actually a good point there as well. So yeah, mix up bosses, Plarium, and also let us get fragments of these champions from the secret rooms rather than having to wait 3 years for Dark Gale. Anyway, so let's talk about champions, man. Let's start with the Bomb Dude. I'm just gonna call him the Bomb Dude. Bommal is his name, I think. Anyway, but,
exactly. Yeah.
So this is the guy that we're gonna be able to pull some really funky champions out of the vault for, right?
100%.
Astranyx or whatever. She's gonna be some popular champions and a few unpopulars as well. But let's start out with, who do you have number one? Like, who are you pulling out of the vault for the Bommal?
The bomb, like Astronyx, is going to be awesome. She doesn't need accuracy, so you can build her with resistance. It's going to be a funky way to beat that boss, right? Because his skill says don't use HP burn. But then if you're using Unkillable, you can go with HP burn and go with bomb. So a lot of things can happen. But definitely Astronyx might be one of the go-to champions. The bombs they detonate after one turn cannot be resisted. So I think she's going to be pretty fun. Plus, we're going to get some turn meter from her A1 for the entire team, making our team to rotate a bit faster. So definitely something that I'm looking forward to try out, you know.
Yeah, who would have thought, right? And the Bommal guy is Red Affinity. He's Force. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for Spirit Affinity. And champions like War Mother, we're not going to include on the list. We're not saying she's trash, but it is a negative affinity matchup. So we're not going to include her, kind of just wait and see on her, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if they will decide to actually rotate bosses, rotate affinities, then yeah, War Mother, she's going to be huge as well for the boss.
Okay,
100%, yeah.
Sounds good. So I recently, I think we actually might have talked about Soul Drinker as well. I did a champion guide on this dude. Man, Soul Drinker is the real deal. Like, he's my favorite bomb epic. I know there's another one on the list as well, but Soul Drinker puts out a lot of damage anyway, and he has these decreased bomb detonation, or cooldowns, excuse me, on all of his abilities except for the one that he's actually placing the bombs. And then when he dies, if you have him with a reviver, he's placing bombs on death as well, which is kind of really cool possibilities in terms of the synergy with him and a reviver with a relatively short cooldown. Do you like Soul Drinker as well?
Yeah, Soul Drinker is definitely fun. I like the idea that with the A1 we can actually decrease the cooldowns of the bombs so they can explode faster. The only thing I don't like about him, talking about his passive, is when he dies, those bombs from the passive, they don't make as much damage as the rest of the bombs for some reason. But him, with a Raglan, with a Reliquary Tender, revivers that have a short cooldown on the revive skill, they're gonna be awesome because he'll be landing so many bombs. He'll be doing such an amazing job, honestly, on that end. We haven't really had a use for that champion, right? Even in faction wars, his weak affinity on the high stages. So definitely looking forward to have some funky fun with him on the boss here.
100%, man. I can't wait to run Soul Drinker in the new boss. And you mentioned Reliquary Tender, so we might as well. She's on our list, man. I love Reliquary already, but she's great because, you know, she's a healer. She's got decreased attack. And most importantly, she has that revive, you know. She's an easy reviver to get compared to all the, you know, OP epics and legendaries out there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So do you like Reliquary Tender on the Bommal boss as well? Anything to add about her, or pretty much said it all?
I am running Reliquary Tender even on the Nether Spider. That cleanse is actually huge, so she's gonna be great. The continuous heal, revive as well is not on a very long cooldown either, you know. So she can do a pretty good job on that as well, especially for a budget reviver. You know, she's awesome.
100%. So we have so far a legendary, an epic, and a rare champion. Who do you have next here, Scratch? Who's on your list?
So I'm really leaning towards unkillable. So personally, I'm gonna go with the high resistance unkillable HP burn bombs. I'll be racking the boss, you know. But for a lot of people, it's very hard to build high resistance teams, you know. And landing a lot of debuffs on this boss is gonna be costly. So having unkillable, a block damage like a Man-Eater, Sir Nicholas, having a Roshka the Tower, for example. And if you don't have high resistance, just timing it the way you're using the skills to make sure he's not using the skill that steals buffs and lands bombs on you, because then you're going to be in trouble. It's going to be awesome. You know, you'll be able to forget about not using HP burn, get in with Dragstar in there, make those bombs explode faster, put HP burn on everybody, make the boss to land more minions, so like that you have more HP burn on more of the enemy teams to kill the boss faster, you know.
Okay, so if I heard you right, like Man-Eater, you would use him, very high resist team, and kind of go that route. That's your number one strategy?
For me, yeah, I'll probably go like that, yeah.
What do you think of, this guy is not on our list, but what do you think of Galcut?
Galcut is a pretty good champion for bombs as well. If you don't have any other legendaries, you're going to have to make it work with whatever you have, you know. And there are some rare bombers in there as well that definitely is worth it to keep an eye on, you know, if you don't have the very high-end bomb champions.
Yeah, so I'll give a Galcut just a call out because, again, you know, the next one that we mentioned here is going to be another legendary, and I want to give you guys options. So Galcut, Soul Drinker, definitely really, really solid. Bomb layers, non-legendary options. But, man, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to my man, Lord Shazar, dude. He's, you know, he's always been kind of I guess the most used bomber, if that's even a thing, just because he has speed. You know, one of the best arena speed aura in the game. However, he's a little bit underwhelming other than that. But now it looks like we might have a use for this dude. He has a 3-time hitter on the A1. He does have the increased attack and block buffs, granted extra turn, and then he has the bomb on the A3. What do you think of Lord Shazar?
Yeah, he's actually awesome. The reason he's used more is because of the aura, how we said, but he has that increased attack. So in order for the bombs to be more efficient, to deal more damage, you want to have that attack up. So the amount of attack you have is kind of what determines the damage the bombs do, because they ignore defense. They're just going through it and wrecking everything. So that's why he's better, you know. The only thing I feel about him on here is the thing that he lands the buffs on himself, you know. So that might put him in a bit in a rough spot there. But as long as you have a reviver in the team, you should be more than fine to run him.
He has a good affinity as well, so I'm definitely excited to dust him off and give him a try. The last one on our list here for the bomb boss is actually Grunge Killjoy, and you're a big fan of this dude. Why?
I like the idea of him being able to use the A1 and block the attack up on the boss, right? And then he can have a cleanse as well. So it really depends on what sort of teams you're able to build. High resistance, unkillable, block damage, or you're not able to build any of them. Then you really want to make sure that boss doesn't have that attack up. Those bombs, they'll be wrecking you. The A1 on the boss, consistently detonating the bombs, detonating the HP burn, is going to be such a pain to deal with if you're not able to do any of the previous things. You cannot block them. You cannot remove the bombs, right? So you can only resist them. So that, or block them with block damage and killable. So you want to make sure he doesn't have attack up. So Killjoy has block buffs, debuff on the A1, you know. He will be getting a bomb from the boss once he lands that debuff, but then if you have a reviver to bring him back to life, he's going to be more than fine to actually sustain your team and help you don't get destroyed.
Yeah, well, he has the bombs, he has the cleanse, he has the block bust, as you said, and I like his passive too. Fills a turn meter of all allies by 10% whenever a bomb debuff detonates on an enemy. So like that's obviously a good synergy. So are you, before we move on to the next boss here, are you recommending, just kind of reiterate, because let's be honest here, man, not many people know how to build the bomb champion. We just touched on it before about attack. Would you recommend folks out there when they're building their bomb champions go with an attack banner and attack percentage on the gauntlet, something that we never talk about here?
So yeah, for some champions, yeah. The only problem is for the majority of them, in order to land bombs, you still need the accuracy, right? So you might still want to go with accuracy banner, but definitely forget about crit damage, guys. On bomb champions, you want to focus all on attack, you know.
Attack.
And some champions might require crit rate, like Lord Shazar, for example. He needs crit rate in order to decrease the cooldown of the bombs, you know. That's the only reason why we're giving him crit rate. But Astranyx, for example, give her as much attack as possible. She doesn't need accuracy. And she's strong affinity. She boosts the turn meter for the rest of the team. That's kind of like why she's the best champion to go against this boss, you know, as a bomb champion, in my opinion.
Totally makes sense. Okay, so let's move on to the next boss here. Astranyx, I think is her name.
Yeah, something like that.
Man, these names, something like that. The Dark Fae, I'm gonna call her. Who is your favorite champions? Give us one champion here for the Dark Fae.
So my ultimate favorite, and I think is going to be the #1 champion against this boss, is going to be Bigan.
Okay. So this is one that nobody has to unvolley, because everybody who has Bigan runs Bigan. So it's not a surprise, but we had to put him on the list because you think he's going to be just god tier.
Yeah, I mean, decreased accuracy, decreased speed, decreased turn meter, stuns for the mirrored copies of the team. He's going to be such a huge champion on there, honestly. It's going to be crazy, actually.
Yeah,
how good he's gonna become.
So yeah, and you just mentioned a few of them there, but what are your favorite like essential debuffs against this boss?
So against this boss, because he's gonna mirror copy all your team, right?
Yeah.
When
so you want to stun him,
turn,
yeah, or freeze him.
You want to freeze them or stun them, because like that, whenever he's gonna ally attack with all the mirror copies, those they're gonna be CC'd, so they're not gonna deal as much damage on your team, you know, and it's gonna be dangerous. You do want to have AOE champions as well to rack those mirrored copies as soon as possible to leave the boss alone, because at some point that boss is still gonna steal one of your champions, right? He's gonna mirror copy one of your champions. I'm not 100% sure how exactly that's gonna work. Like, what's gonna decide which champion from my team is gonna be mirror copied by the boss and taken away till I kill the copy, and then I'm getting back my champion. So I'm not sure if he's gonna go for the lead, he's gonna go for the lowest HP. I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna work, but the boss is still gonna steal one of your champions, even after you kill all the mirror copies. So you definitely want to have heavy damage as well and a lot of CC. Decreased speed on the boss is gonna be awesome. Decreased accuracy, so like that you don't need to have crazy resistance with your team to be able to sustain the team in there, you know. Inquisitor Shamael is gonna be awesome because of the way his passive works with the fear, you know. It's very unique in that terms.
Okay, so let's talk about him. So you think Inquisitor Shamael is actually going to be an all-star against this boss?
Yeah, he will be a whole star as well, yeah. So you see, this boss is very interesting because of, I think it's the A2, something that ties towards each affinity on your team, right?
Yeah.
So I would really suggest against this boss to forget about Spirit Affinity unless you're having heal reduction on the boss.
That's a good point.
If you have heal reduction, you can go with Spirit Affinity. If not, it's going to be a struggle for you to take the boss down because he's going to heal so much.
So why do you like Inquisitor Shamael again?
So each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5. Whenever an ally receives a fear or a true fear debuff from an enemy, this skill will instantly remove the debuff and fill the ally turn meter by 15%. And that passive has no cooldown. You know, so that means that you don't need to bring in a cleanser in that team. You know,
love it, love that call out. So actually, this is the one champion, actually the second champion so far that I'm gonna invest in after this video, just in preparation because it seems like he would be perfect for this boss. We also talked about a bunch of the abilities, or as you were talking, I spotlit my girl Syl the Drinks, right? Because don't you think that Syl's gonna be a boss against this boss?
Absolutely.
With the stun?
She's gonna be awesome. Stuns. Turn meter control, decrease speed, revive if needed. She's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, another boss that still is gonna dominate against guys. That's what I'm talking about.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So who else do you like here? We named 3. We got Inquisitor Shamael, we got Bigan, we got Syl the Drakes. Who else you got?
Tyler, for example, the love of your life, right? She's gonna be awesome on a stun set.
Okay. Yeah.
a stun set on her. She has decreased speed, decreased accuracy, decreased turn meter. So even though the turn meter manipulation is only 50% effective against the boss, it's still going to be huge. And it doesn't say that it's 50% against the mirror copies, right? Because they're going to get a turn eventually as well. Not only on the ally attack, I'm assuming. So
yeah,
being able to control everything is going to be huge against this boss.
Love that. Love that. The Control Master Sylar. Okay, I'll give one. Let me go to... do you think that Ninja is going to be a boss against this boss? I'll stop saying boss against boss. What do you think about Ninja?
I hope so. So it all depends how his A3 is going to work with the freeze, But even if that's not going to be as efficient, the HP burn and the racking damage like that is going to be pretty good. You know how on the Ice Golem, Ninja targets the ads and it actually freezes them. But
yes.
Then on the Spider, it targets the boss and it doesn't freeze nothing,
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting.
On manual, 100% Ninja is going to be the boss of the boss, because he's going to freeze 100% chance. But if you got to put it on auto, I'm not sure. Unless you're targeting the side minions, the mirror copies.
Okay, I got another one then. I got a backup. How about Miscreated Monster? Miscreated, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be awesome.
He's gonna be a monster. He's gonna be he's got the stun, the shield. I mean, he's got the ally. He's got all the support you need plus the stun. I mean, he's just a great champion overall. But I feel like this is gonna be another area where he's gonna really carry a lot of teams out there.
I would turn ally protection off there though. So if you're gonna put a team preset. Team preset is huge.
That's true.
Honestly, since I cannot stop talking about team preset since it came out because I love it so much.
Yeah.
But you got if the boss steals ally protection from your miscreated monster.
You're right. You're dead.
One of the allies.
Yeah.
He's dead. So it's the same situation like in Faction Wars, right? Like I had to manual my Faction Wars when I beat the stage was pre-nerf before the pre-nerf, right? So I had to manual for quite a bit of a time to actually beat that faction. It was the last faction I had and was pretty hard. So I always had to make sure because we had no team presets. Miscreated monster doesn't use his ally protection, or if he does, he's using it before the boss gets to use that specific skill.
I love that call out. You're absolutely right because he's going to be every time you attack him, if he's banished or whatever, he's going to be dead. So that's a very, very good call out there. So turn off the A3, just have him stunning every 3 turns with the great shield that he has, especially a shield against multiple enemies, which is going to play into this boss battle. So good call out there. And do you have a final champion?
Astranyx is going to be great as well, for example. Like, he was a fusion, but if you don't have the fusion, let's just say Bellower on a stun set. He's going to be amazing too. He's a rare champion. I know his Void Affinity is a bit harder to get, but if you don't
Bellower,
have legendaries, hopefully you have a Bellower. He has decreased speed, the lower version, decreased attack, decreased defense. So he's bringing so much. Block skills, cooldowns. I'm not sure how the mirror copies they're going to work, if they're going to have the exact same skills like all my team, or they're only going to have like a basic skill, I'm not 100% sure how that works.
Yeah, we'll see.
Haven't really got any info.
Yeah.
But if he's going to be able to lock the skills, maybe he's going to work even on the boss as well. I can't remember 100%,
Yeah.
So that can be a huge champion as well.
Okay, I'll give my last one here. I think that, she's pretty much good everywhere in the game already, but Doom Priest, don't you think she's going to be useful as well? Yeah.
She's just skyrocketing with every single content they're bringing. I love Doom Priest, and I'm so happy that I put her on my free-to-play account, honestly.
Oh, congrats, man.
Awesome.
Dude, I wish I could get Doom Priest on my free-to-play. Who knows? I've been very lucky lately. My viewers don't like it, man. My viewers are like, dude, this baloney luck on my free-to-play. I pulled Astralon, actually, of all people. I pulled him on my last chart opening video on the free-to-play.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so yeah, running the luck here. But hey, man, that's all we have. No spirit champions because you don't want to deal with the heal unless you're bringing heal reduction. But those are hopefully a lot of champions that my viewers can go ahead and utilize, or start to build out if they haven't built them before in preparation for this new Doom Tower rotation, I guess, along with the 2 new bosses. Scratch AK47, thank you so much for joining me. You guys should subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. He's a frequent guest here on the channel. So knowledgeable about the game, and obviously that carries on throughout his content on his channel. Scratch, thank you so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Peace, a pleasure.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Appreciate you guys, and as always, take care, guys.